It's been a very busy weekend for Tesla, some positive and some not so positive, but how you view the weekend is likely to be influenced by how you currently view Tesla. For example, if you're a Tesla owner, you're probably focused on the news that Tesla has just pushed out its System 9 operating system for its Model S, Model X and Model 3 electric cars via an over-the-air software update. You may also be super excited about Tesla's announcement from Sunday night, in which it says test data released by the US National Highway Traffic Safety Administration shows the Tesla Model 3 is the safest car the agency has tested to date, with the lowest probability of passenger injury of any car on the road today. Second and third place on that list, the Model S and Model X. So yeah, that's good news too. Despite all of this positive news, however, it looks like Tesla is, at least at the time of writing this, having its worst day for more than a year and a half on the stock market, with prices tumbling to under $250 per share. So where do these two completely different sides to Tesla come from? Which one is right? And what does it tell us about the future of the company? First up, let's give ourselves a little background. Tesla's System 9 update is probably the biggest in Tesla's history, adding a whole slew of new features to each and every Tesla on the road today. Aside from tweaks to the car's onboard navigation system and user interface, there are updated climate controls for all Tesla cars and a new updated Tesla mobile app, which lets owners send navigation to their cars from their phone, as well as initiate a remote vehicle software update. For all hardware-equipped cars, all autopilot cameras are now fully enabled, which Tesla says gives the car a better 360-degree awareness of the world around it. There's also improved vehicle detection and blind spot alerts. Cars with front-facing cameras also now get a dash cam facility, allowing owners to download crash footage to a USB stick for insurance, law enforcement or personal purposes. And says Tesla, Navigate on Autopilot will be rolled out in the coming months, offering a higher level of on-ramp to off-ramp autopilot operation. And NHTSA's crash testing? Well, Model 3 gets 5 stars across the board, and Tesla says the Model 3 has the lowest probability of injury of all cars tested by NHTSA, and it proves that by showcasing raw data from NHTSA's tests. It's worth noting here that NHTSA hasn't said this directly, because NHTSA doesn't actually make those kind of statements. Instead, it publishes the raw data and an aggregate 5-star rating made from the car's performance throughout its crash testing procedure. Perhaps most impressive, though, is the fact that Tesla did much of its crash testing and structural vehicle development in simulators rather than in the real world, as it was budget constrained and time constrained when it developed Model 3. That little note is, I think, a very important one to make. So far then, we're looking at a pretty positive weekend for Tesla. So why is the share price so low? Well, that's the other side of this coin. You see, on Friday last week, David Einhorn, a well-known investor who has been a long time short against Tesla, published a note to his fund's shareholders comparing Tesla and Elon Musk's recent actions to the actions carried out by the Lehman Brothers executives just before it crashed and burned in 2008. For example, he noted that Lehman execs threatened short sellers who were betting against the company and also talked about taking the company private. Those very same actions that were made by Elon Musk in recent weeks. Other analysts have been equally dismissive of Tesla. A post by John Eagle over the weekend on Seeking Alpha claims that Tesla's autopilot driving narrative has hit a brick wall, noting that Tesla's System 9 update did not include the autopilot updates that Elon Musk had promised it would, and stating that both Google and General Motors are far better funded and far more accomplished right now when it comes to automated driving. These posts, plus Elon Musk's mocking of the SEC last week on Twitter, haven't helped Tesla's share price, and as a result, investors, at least institutional ones, are skittish. If I had to guess, I'd say that Tesla's share price will remain low until we see some concrete news on Elon Musk's replacement as chairman of the board, plus confirmation that the SEC settlement has actually been accepted by the US Federal District Court in Manhattan. Now I've gone over the two different sides of this argument comes the hard bit. Who is right? Is Tesla doing fantastically well or terribly badly? Obviously, if we're going to examine this fairly, neither the super positive nor super negative sides of this are a good place to start. You see, Tesla, like every other growing company out there, is large enough to experience both good and bad things at the same time. Tesla's crash test result for Model 3 is great news for Tesla sales, as it's another reason Tesla can cite when telling customers that they should buy a Model 3. Similarly, the System 9 update should be another good positive when selling cars. And so it should be. Although, I should note, I've seen several examples online of customers complaining about software updates going wrong or their car's not working, but every Tesla is a computer on wheels, and like every computer, there will always be some customers who have a bad upgrade experience. It's up to Tesla and customers to decide what percentage of problems to positive experiences is considered acceptable. As to the stock market, well, those publishing articles questioning Tesla are often shorts, and so they have just as much a vested interest in Tesla failing as Tesla customers and fans do with it doing well. Sadly, however, the echo chambers that now exist on both sides could do more damage than anything else out there. Why? Well, each side does have valid points. Tesla's weekend was both good and bad, but until both sides agree that that was the case, Tesla's going to continue to exist in a very bizarre world where way too much energy is expended arguing and not enough energy is spent dealing with the things that really matter. Continuing production ramp-ups, turning a profit, keeping investors happy, and ensuring that Tesla's board makes the choices it needs to in order to prevent further Twitter-based issues, if you know what I mean. Do you agree? Do both sides need to understand each other better? And how would you characterize the weekend? Leave your thoughts below and do it nicely. That's it. Thanks for joining me, and see you next time.